Shabbat Shalom. Parshat Mishpatim is known as Sefer HaBrit, the Book of the Covenant. It is known as Sefer HaBrit because Mishpatim contains a compendium of laws, which in its aggregate form the basis of living in a just society. The basic values of the Jewish people are contained in Parshat Mishpatim, and they are codified in this compendium of law. And the law tells a story, even though they speak about specific events, moral values, and the consequences of violating those values. Something fundamental appears in Parshat Mishpatim, something enormously profound. In all of the laws in Mishpatim, only one is repeated, and it concerns the prohibition against oppressing the ger, the stranger. And it says, "You shall not oppress the ger because gerim hiyitim be'eretz Mitzrayim," because you were strangers in the land of Egypt. And you shall not oppress the ger, it says in another place, because you know the nefesh of the ger. You know the deep feelings and emotions, the sense of vulnerability of the ger. You know their anxieties, you know their fears, because you lived the same way when you were strangers in a strange land as slaves in Egypt. And from this we learn a great deal about God. First, if you want to know why God led us into Egypt and into slavery, one reason is to bring us out of slavery, in order to bring us to Sinai and then back into Eretz Israel to establish a society founded on justice and kindness. And in order for us to understand how to live with power, we had to first experience what it meant to live under power. The second thing that emerges from this is perhaps the most important characteristic of God. Protestant theology says that God's beloved were rewarded with monetary and material success. But the God of the Torah is on the side of the ger, those who are marginalized, those who are powerless, those who live at the mercy of others. Because in ancient times, a ger was someone who lived in a territory but was not part of the ethnicity of the ruling powers of the territory. So a Moabite who lived within Israel did not have the full rights of an Israelite. And conversely, an Israelite who lived in Edom did not have the full rights of the Edomites. They lived on the margins. God is on the side of the powerless. Justice means that those who have power take care of those without power. That those who have affluence take care of those who are poor. That those who live with abundance take care of the needs of those who live in poverty. 36 times the Torah says, Ki gerim hiyitim be'eretz Mitzrayim. 36 times the Torah reminds us that we were strangers in Egypt. And that's why when we make Kiddush every Friday night, that's why the story of the Exodus from Egypt that we tell every year at Pesach is one of the core stories of what it means to be Jewish. Because if we forget that past, if we should forget what the ger feels like, if we should lose the capacity for compassion and empathy, we can no longer lay claim to being God's people. Guys, the God of Israel is on the side of the ger, and so should we. Shabbat Shalom. May you have a Zis and Shabbos.